The Building Bridges Initiative rallies are currently ongoing in this country. But are they going in the right direction? That's the question which most Kenyans are currently asking. But if you ask me that question, my answer would be very simple. That the deep state is well aware of the outcome they want from the Building Bridges Initiative rallies, and that they are going to do everything possible to ensure that the outcome of the Building Bridges Initiative rallies will reflect what they want, whether you like it or whether you don't like it. But are those rallies going in the right direction? In my view, I don't think so. The Building Bridges Initiative rallies are not going in the right direction. So today I want us to look at the 5 mistakes which I think the Building Bridges Initiative team, and particularly Raila Odinga, are committing. But before we go into those details, if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, you get notified. You get notified. Now back to the main issue. Is BBI rallies or are BBI rallies going in the right direction? My answer to that is no. The BBI rallies are not going in the right direction. I'm saying this because we've had 2 referendums, at least the ones I've seen. We had a referendum in 2005, and we had another referendum in 2010. In 2005, we had the banana and we have the oranges. And both sides of the divides, whether oranges or bananas, they used to fill the campaigns. If you belong to banana, you'd fill the banana. If you belonged to the orange, you'd fill the orange. But this one here, nobody is filling the BBI campaigns. What's happening? In my view, this is happening because of the following 5 reasons. And if you stick until the end, I'm going to give us a bonus as point number 6. The first reason why people are not filling this BBI is because the organizers have allowed people who are opposed to this Building Bridges Initiative rallies to attend the rallies. Take, for example, what happened in Mombasa. In Mombasa, Team Tangatanga attended the rallies. But it's known fact that Team Tangatanga are opposed to the Building Bridges Initiative rallies. So why were they allowed to attend the meeting? Take what happened in Nyeri. How do you allow someone who is opposed to a referendum rally, or who is opposed to what you are advocating for, to attend that rally? And not just attending, you even allow them to address the meeting. So it means at the end of the day, after those rallies, what comes out are the dramas out of those particular incidences. In my view, what the organizers should do is to lock out anybody who is opposed to the referendum. Because as a matter of fact, there is no way in this country where people will have to agree. And that's why a referendum would be important. So that if those who are opposed to the referendum are many, then they'll have their say. And if those who are supporting the referendum are many, then they'll have their say. In my view, the referendum campaign, this BBI campaign, should be that if you're opposed to it, you should go outside there and explain to people why you are opposed to it. If you support the Building Bridges Initiative, go to the people and explain to them why you oppose it. But it makes no sense for the Building Bridges Initiative organizers to organize rallies where they expect to explain to people the importance of the Building Bridges Initiative rallies, but at the end of the day, they allow people who are opposed to it. They come, they talk, they oppose, and then they go. That's why people are not filling the referendum. That's number 1. Number 2, I think the organizers have also failed in messaging. You can't succeed in convincing Kenyans if your message is not coming out very clearly. And this is what is happening with the Building Bridges Initiative rallies. Take, for example, in Kenya today, we have so many problems. Kenyans are facing so many problems. And the BBI is supposed to explain to Kenyans how they are going to solve those problems. For example, in this country, we have unemployment rate. It's at the highest at the moment. But when you go to the BBI rallies, that's not coming out. The BBI proponents are not explaining to Kenyans how the BBI is going to create employment opportunities for them. Who do they expect to explain to the masses that? And I used to like the ODM campaigns in the last election. What ODM used to do, they would have professionals, people like David Ndii, who will address pertinent issues, like if it's economy, if it's agriculture, they would have professionals explaining. Why can't the Building Bridges Initiative team identify experts who can break down how BBI is going to help in creating employment? You go to healthcare in this country. You go to healthcare. If you go to any healthcare system in this country, it's basically collapsed. The hospitals are charging fees which cannot be afforded by ordinary Kenyans. The NHIF is not even helping much. You go to the county hospitals, collapse, no medical facilities, no medical equipment. You can't even get basic drugs in those hospitals. Then you call people for a BBI rally, then you don't explain to them how BBI is going to fix that particular problem. So unless the BBI team will come up with proper messaging, where when you leave BBI rally, for example, you'll know that today this guy talked about unemployment and how they are going to address it. They talked about healthcare and how they are going to address it. Again, the cost of living in this country is so high. It's so high. The Building Bridges Initiative team are not explaining to Kenyans how BBI is going to lower the cost of living. Well, on the other hand, people like Moses Kuria can easily go tell the people that for them, they only want the prices of tea, coffee, just basic things like that. So people are buying those narratives, which they should have done because they have been in government, instead of addressing this, because the Building Bridges Initiative team has basically failed to explain to Kenyans how they are going to address the basic things. When you talk of school fees, I pay school fee for 2 people. But the fact of the matter is, Jubilee promised free secondary education. We still pay school fees. The Building Bridges Initiative is not explaining how all these are going to be addressed by the Building Bridges Initiative. What comes out of those meetings are just mere rhetorics. And because of that, Kenyans are not feeling the Building Bridges Initiative. In fact, Kenyans can always predict who are going to speak, what they are going to say, and the next rallies. So that's the second mistake. And I hope they are going to work on messaging. Whether they're going to hire expert or not. Maybe because it's a deep state project, maybe they have a strategy after this phase. But I still don't know. Number 3, which I think is also a big problem, is that in all these rallies, there are no fresh bloods. No fresh bloods, just the normal people. Today, if the BBI will be in Nakuru, you'll always know in advance who are likely to speak. The people who are likely to speak are the governors. And the fact of the matter is that most governors in this country are corrupt, or at least, let me be fair, they are accused to be corrupt by their countrymen. Most of them. They're very unpopular on the ground. Most of the governors. And they're the guys who are likely to speak. In all BBI rallies, governors are always given a chance to speak. But back in their counties, governors are hated. They are not developing hospitals. Roads are inaccessible, no water, no basic things in their counties. But there they are campaigning for the Building Bridges initiative. So if your governor comes from Kisumu, for example, and he goes to BBI rally in Kitui, for example, and he talks about BBI, while he's doing that, the district hospital in Kisumu has collapsed. How do you think the people of Kisumu feel? You allow someone like, for example, the governor for Nairobi to attend a BBI rally. He's facing myriads of corruption allegations against him. You go to Siaya, for example. You go to Homa Bay. You give the governor a chance to speak in Kakamega. While basic things have collapsed in that county, how do you think people are going to take that BBI rally? They take it as a joke. And people with fresh bloods like Babu Owino are always just given chance to speak because people are demanding them to speak. In my view, what the Building Bridges initiative team should do is simple. They should allow very few politicians to speak. Very few. Very few. So if you're there in a county, let the governor speak, let the senator speak, let the area MP speak, let the area MCA speak. After that, let a youth speak. Like for example, in Meru, there was nothing which stopped those guys from allowing Zach Kinodia speak, which I know he spoke, allowing Wambui Nyutu to speak. I hope she spoke. And just ordinary, because at any given area, there's always those youth who are always very popular with the people. So they should be given space to speak. Why can't the organizers of BBI even identify respected businessmen in major towns? People who are respected, and allow them to speak during the Building Bridges initiative rallies. Must we have politicians speaking? That's number 3. Number 4, I think, is the issue of politicizing the BBI rallies. In my view, the right people who ought to have been given the limelight during BBI rallies, in my view, were the task force. Yusuf Haji, Adam Solo, and the rest. And when a BBI rally is called, these guys are given space. You create a podium for the VIP, and then you create another podium for them, for the 4 or 8 guys who are present. Then people talk, then you allow them to explain to Kenyans the document called BBI. And after explaining to Kenyans, you make the documents available to them. Just make the BBI documents available to Kenyans, because these documents are available online. Most Kenyans might not be able to access them. So just print them and give it to them. There's nothing which it will cost than if you gave them and then now they'll say, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. Because most Kenyans are able to read, they're able to understand every other thing. But what happens in these rallies? When you go to these rallies, what happens is you give David Murathe a podium. David Murathe will go and say, Sisi, we will not allow a thief to become the president. BBI rallies are not supposed to address those issues. And luckily, Raila Odinga has maintained that BBI rallies are not for 2022. So anybody who wants to speak about 2022, let them create their own rallies, in my view. You give a Tuli chance. Uhuru Kenyatta is still too young. Who doesn't know Uhuru is still too young? First, let's address the issue of the Building Bridges initiative. Full stop. You give Murkomen a rally, a chance. What is he saying? He takes us back to 2017, where Raila Odinga elections was stolen according to Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga had a handshake with the Uhuru Kenyatta. And they agreed that you stole my election, I stole your election, but we are now working together. Right? But why are we doing that? Because we are politicizing the Building Bridges Initiative rallies. Number 5, which is the last point, and I want you to listen to up to point number 6, is that this idea of making Raila Odinga the center of BBI rallies, in my view, is also not a good idea. I know politically it's good for Raila Odinga. Because, for example, if you take what happened in Central, he was the center of attraction. The people who mobilized to leave when Moses Kuria and Murkomen left, and they left with the people, and the next thing you are hearing was that these people worked on Raila Odinga. So Raila Odinga basically became the center of attraction. When he arrived there, he was received by governors and he was seated right in the middle as the chief guest, which is okay for him politically. But for the purposes of Building Bridges Initiative, I think Raila Odinga should attend those events as a, say, I don't know the term, but say like a principal, not the main guest. The main guest should be the Building Bridges Initiative team. And Raila Odinga should be worried about this, because as long as Uhuru Kenyatta is not attending these BBI rallies, and Raila Odinga is attending, then Team Tangatanga will still have that audacity to attack him even in his presence. We have 2 rallies, one in Nakuru and another one in Eldoret. And it is expected that in those 2 rallies, these guys are intending to humiliate Raila Odinga. What stops Uhuru Kenyatta from attending those rallies? And if Uhuru can't attend, why should Raila Odinga attend? He can just miss them. In Meru, I saw Raila Odinga. He was not fit. He had even a flu you could feel. But yet to attend that rally. Why? Lastly, number 6, which is a bonus, which I wanted you to listen, is the issue of mobilization. The fact of the matter is, this Building Bridges Initiative, based on my own assessment, is being funded by the state. Uhuru Kenyatta and his government are funding the Building Bridges Initiative. And because they are funding it, they're using the state structure, which is the county commissioner, the sub-county, going down to the assistant chiefs. These are not the right people to mobilize people to attend political events. They are not. If you were to mobilize these people, the best thing in my view, Raila Odinga has his own network in Meru. He ought to have been allowed to mobilize his own people. So that in each county, in each of those constituencies, if he had 10 or 20 people supporting him, and those people are known, then he need to have mobilized them to come. Then you go to the governor, but if you allow the state to mobilize, then that's a big problem. They'll end up mobilizing even people who are not for that cause. And those are the main causes of the problems with the Building Bridges Initiative rallies. I don't know what you think, but in my view, the Building Bridges Initiative rallies are not going in the right direction. I know the outcome, it will achieve that particular outcome, the outcome which the deep state want. I don't know what you think, but I want to listen to your view. What other mistake do you think the Building Bridges Initiative rallies and team are making? If you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or 2 and hit the subscribe button so that next time you produce a video like this, you get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. Because without your support, this channel would not be where it is. I was sick on Saturday and the messages were overwhelming. In fact, on that day, because we had Meru event, by 5, everybody was asking me for the video. But I couldn't. But again, when I posted the video yesterday and explained I was unwell, the messages has been overwhelming. I want to continue. Thank you guys for that kind of support. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. And just like I keep on saying, the only request I make here is for you guys to help me create interactions just by clicking thumbs up and also by dropping your comments. Thank you guys. Also, you can reach me, by the way, on my WhatsApp, which is 0777 741323. 0777 0777 741323. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. Bye bye.